Imagine you are in a high-rise building engulfed in flames, thick smoke spreading through every corner. Everyone around you is scrambling to find an exit. Some are giving it their all, using every ounce of strength and willpower to open doors or find a way through the blocked paths. As you watch, you notice others simply standing still, paralyzed by panic, making no effort to move, and refusing to cooperate with those trying to save them. As a compassionate person, your immediate reaction is to take action. You help one person open a door, guide another down the stairs, doing everything in your power to lead them to safety. But as you continue, a troubling realization starts to settle in. Some of these people, no matter how hard you try, make no effort to save themselves. They not only fail to do anything to escape the danger, but some even blame you for not helping them fast enough or criticize your choice of escape route. In this chaotic situation, you gradually come to the understanding that not everyone wants to be saved, and there are those who will only drag you down with them. You step back and realize that your kindness is being exploited. You're exhausted from trying to lead and save those who either do not truly want to escape the flames or simply don't know how to cooperate in order to be helped. This is when you remember the teachings of Stoicism, act based on reason, not emotion, and focus your energy on where it can have the greatest impact. In this scenario, the burning building symbolizes life, and the people trapped inside represent the different types of individuals we encounter on our life's journey. Stoic philosophy, a guiding beacon of wisdom and virtue, not only encourages us to extend kindness, but also teaches us the subtle art of discernment. Helping others is indeed a noble act, but not everyone is deserving of that help. The great Stoic masters like Marcus Aurelius Epictetus and Seneca have reminded us that life is finite, and so are our time, energy, and compassion. We must value these precious resources and not allow them to be squandered on those who neither appreciate them nor have the will to improve their situation. Instead of trying to fill a bottomless cup, focus on those who truly desire change, those who are ready to embrace your kindness and use it to build a better life. This is how your kindness can spread and create positive change in the world. Remember, making wise choices is not selfishness, but rather a way to protect your energy and soul, allowing you to continue living a meaningful and fulfilled life. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so we can continue this journey together, exploring more fascinating and insightful topics in the future. In today's video, we will embark on an exciting journey to explore the 8 types of people who, according to Stoic philosophy, we should carefully consider before offering our help. Let's dive in and discover whether you've been wasting your kindness on these individuals. If you enjoy this topic, leave a 1 in the comments below. If you're not fully satisfied, let me know by commenting with a 0 so I can improve future videos. Number 1. The ungrateful. Perhaps many times in your life, you have extended a helping hand, wholeheartedly supporting others, only to receive silence or even betrayal in return. Your kindness has been taken advantage of and you can't help but wonder why you find yourself in this situation. The feelings of hurt and exhaustion linger. This is when you need to stop and reflect on the meaning of help, gratitude, and most importantly, ingratitude. Stoic philosophy offers deep insights into the nature of gratitude and when we should stop offering help. Epictetus once said, "We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it." Ingratitude is a part of life, and not everyone knows how to appreciate what they receive. If we continue helping the ungrateful, we are wasting our precious energy on those who will never repay us by bettering themselves. Marcus Tullius Cicero, the Roman orator and philosopher, once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others." This means that without gratitude, all good deeds become meaningless. You can spend time, effort, and resources helping others, but if they don't recognize the value of what you've done, all that effort becomes futile. The ungrateful person not only diminishes the value of your help, but also drains the spirit of the one offering it. Gratitude is the acknowledgement that acts of kindness are not something to be taken for granted, but a choice. When we help someone, it is not out of obligation but a voluntary act stemming from compassion. However, if that kindness is not reciprocated with appreciation, we must ask ourselves, are we helping the right person? In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste your precious energy on those who are undeserving. Focus on what you can control." Imagine that you've helped a friend overcome financial difficulties, spending time listening and supporting them. Yet, when things start to improve, instead of expressing gratitude, they turn their back on you and abandon you when you face hardships. This not only makes you feel betrayed, but also raises questions about the value of kindness. Helping others is commendable, but there are times when we need to learn how to let go. As Epictetus once said, "Do not expect repayment from those who do not understand the value of what they have received." If you continue to help those who do not appreciate it, you are missing the opportunity to help those who truly need it and are grateful. This doesn't mean you become cold-hearted or lose your sense of compassion. On the contrary, it means you are protecting your energy so that you can dedicate it to those who genuinely need and deserve it. Stoic philosophy teaches us that help should not be unconditional but must be offered with reason and careful consideration. The famous writer Ernest Hemingway once said, "The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places." If you have ever been hurt by the ungrateful, see it as a lesson to become wiser in choosing who is worth helping. Don't let ingratitude destroy your kindness and generosity, but learn to give it to those who truly appreciate it. Life is too short to waste on the ungrateful. Do you agree with me? If so, leave a 2 to let me know that I have a companion on this journey. Number 2. The lazy. Epictetus once said, "Men are not disturbed by things but by the view they take of them." This means that life's difficulties are not what cause past people to stagnate. It's how they face these challenges that determines whether they succeed or fail. Laziness is not a product of tough circumstances, but rather a choice to avoid responsibility and refuse to make an effort. The lazy betray themselves. They refuse to confront challenges, instead choosing to blame their circumstances, when in reality, everyone has the capacity to overcome adversity if they are willing to try. If you help them, not only are you harming yourself, but you also prevent them from facing their own responsibilities. Seneca once wrote, "Not everyone in trouble needs to be rescued. Sometimes help only weakens them." The lazy people, each time you offer assistance, they become more reliant on that help. They no longer need to put in the effort or find ways to improve themselves because they have someone who is always ready to solve their problems for them. As a result, they not only fail to grow, but they also become dependent and passive. Help, if given at the wrong time or in the wrong way, can become a poison that kills a person's will. You may think that you are doing good, but in reality, you are preventing them from developing the ability to solve problems and face life's challenges on their own. Lazy people don't learn lessons from hardship because they never truly experience it. They only see that you've helped them escape it. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations once said, "Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot." You cannot change someone who doesn't want to change. No matter how many times you help them, if they are unwilling to put in the effort themselves, all your actions are in vain. Kindness becomes foolishness when you try to change people who have no intention of changing themselves. Imagine you have a friend who constantly complains about his life. His job is stagnant. His finances are a mess. Everything seems to be against him. You've listened, offered advice, and even helped him find a job, given him money to get through tough times. But then, a month, 2 months, even a year passes, and he is still there, complaining without making any changes. He continues to rely on you, with no intention of standing up to solve his problems himself. At that point, you realize you are helping a lazy person, not someone in genuine need of assistance. The Stoics believe that helping others is not about carrying their responsibilities, but about giving them the tools to stand on their own. Epictetus reminds us, no one can progress without taking responsibility for themselves. Lazy people never progress because they never truly accept responsibility for their actions. Each time you help them, you are taking away the opportunity for them to learn how to confront difficulties and grow. Helping doesn't mean doing everything for them, but rather providing the conditions for them to learn how to solve their problems. If someone is not willing to get back up after falling, then all your efforts are wasted. Remember, not every act of assistance brings value. Sometimes refusing to help is the only way for others to realize they must overcome their own difficulties. Oscar Wilde once said, "I can resist everything except the temptation to help a lazy person." Kindness becomes an abuse if it's misplaced. If you continue helping people who are unwilling to change, you are only perpetuating a cycle of stagnation and dependency. When you realize that your help is reinforcing someone else's laziness, it's time to stop. Helping should not mean doing things for others, but providing them the chance to rise on their own. If someone is not willing to put in the effort themselves, your actions will ultimately be meaningless. Life is too short to waste energy on people who don't want to make progress. Protect your energy and compassion for those who truly deserve it, those who are ready to stand up and fight for their own lives. Number 3, the irresponsible. If you help an irresponsible person, you are allowing them to continue their cycle of mistakes. You think you are helping them out of a difficult situation, but in reality, you are simply enabling them to avoid their responsibilities, harming not only themselves but also those around them. In the eyes of the Stoics, this is not help, it is creating the conditions for mistakes and irresponsibility to persist. Imagine a friend who repeatedly makes financial errors. Each time they fall into debt, you step in, giving them money to pay off their debts, hoping they will change. But instead of learning how to manage their finances better, they continue to repeat the same mistakes, eventually coming back to you for help again. You not only lose money, but also lose the trust and belief that they will grow and learn from their mistakes. The truth is, they never learn because they always have you as a safety net, a way to avoid facing the consequences. Seneca once said, "He who cannot take responsibility for himself will never be able to take responsibility for anyone else." But think about a leader in a company. If this person never admits to making wrong decisions, instead constantly blaming employees or external circumstances, the entire team under their command will lose trust in them. Employees will feel oppressed and treated unfairly, and the organization will fall into chaos. Helping someone like this only allows their irresponsibility to spread, harming the entire community. The writer Henry David Thoreau once said, "What I fear most is not poverty, but the deception of one's own responsibility." When you help an irresponsible person escape the consequences of their actions, you are helping them cultivate avoidance and self-deception. Helping an irresponsible person is like patching a broken boat without ever fixing the actual hole. They will continue to damage the boat, continue to repeat their mistakes, and you will always be the one standing by, repairing the consequences they cause. This doesn't just exhaust you, but it also weakens them. Number 4, chronic critics. Have you ever experienced the bitter feeling of having your genuine kindness met with criticism? Have you ever tried your hardest to help someone, giving your time, energy, and care, only to be repaid with betrayal, with harsh words from the very person you once protected and nurtured? If you've gone through this, know that you are not alone. It's a painful, deeply wounding experience that many of us face on our journey through life. Betrayal from someone you've helped isn't just a shock to your spirit. It's a profound lesson about human nature and the true meaning of giving. When we offer help, most of us hope that our actions will be appreciated, that the person we assist will be grateful and learn from the help they've received. But reality doesn't always match our expectations. Sometimes your act of kindness isn't met with gratitude, but rather exploited or ignored. This leaves you wondering, why did you give so much of yourself, only to be left with bitter disappointment? Stoic philosophy offers deep insights into the nature of kindness and helps us understand when we should offer help and when we should step back. Marcus Aurelius Epictetus and Seneca, great Stoic philosophers, have all warned us to be cautious when giving our kindness. They don't encourage turning our backs on compassion, but they teach us that kindness must be given wisely, and to the right people. Not everyone is deserving of your help, and some will never appreciate it. Epictetus, in his work Enchiridion, wrote, "Do not expect events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will have a tranquil life." This is a wise and profound teaching. When we help someone, Epictetus reminds us to do so with a pure heart, without expecting anything in return. If you expect others to be grateful, to praise or remember your help, you're setting yourself up for disappointment when reality doesn't meet your expectations. True satisfaction, according to Stoic philosophy, doesn't come from others' repayment, but from the act of giving itself, from your own compassion and goodwill. It's time to stop, to cease trying to save those who don't want to save themselves. Helping others is not an obligation, and refusing to help does not make you heartless. On the contrary, it is a sign of wisdom, of knowing who is deserving of your kindness. Protect your energy and compassion for those who will value it, or those who will use your help as a stepping stone to rise above their circumstances. When kindness is exploited, that's when you need to reflect and reassess. Don't let betrayal from the ungrateful or irresponsible darken your compassion. Instead, learn to give your kindness to the right people, at the right time, and in the right way, as Stoic philosophy teaches. Seneca once said, "He who cannot take responsibility for himself will never be able to take responsibility for anyone else." This is a reminder that those who refuse to change, despite your help, are not worth your continued investment. By constantly aiding them, you enable their lack of growth and foster dependency, rather than fostering their ability to stand on their own. Seneca's wisdom guides us to recognize that our help should be a tool for others to develop, not a crutch that holds them back. And what about those who criticize us in return for our help? Chronic critics, those who always find fault, no matter what you do, are people who often project their own insecurities and dissatisfaction onto others. These people will never appreciate your efforts, no matter how genuine your intentions are. Their goal is not to improve themselves, but to bring others down to their level. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It is not the actions of others that disturb us, but rather how we interpret those actions." In this we are reminded that the harsh words of chronic critics do not define us. It is our own reaction to those words that holds true power. Epictetus tells us, "Don't expect repayment from those who do not understand the value of what they have received." When you continuously give to someone who neither learns from nor values your help, you're wasting your efforts on someone who will never change. This doesn't mean that you should stop being kind or compassionate. It means you need to be discerning with your kindness. Direct it towards those who will appreciate and benefit from it. Imagine a scenario where you help a friend in need. You listen to their complaints, offer advice, and go out of your way to support them emotionally and financially. Yet, despite your best efforts, this friend continues to make the same mistakes, only to turn around and criticize you for not doing enough. You feel betrayed and exhausted, wondering why your help has been met with ingratitude and harshness. This is the painful reality of dealing with people who neither appreciate your help nor take responsibility for their actions. The Stoics teach us that in these moments we must step back. Continuing to help someone who refuses to take responsibility is not an act of kindness, it's enabling. It fosters dependence, not growth. And in the case of chronic critics, your efforts will only fuel their negative behavior as they continue to find fault rather than improvement. Henry David Thoreau once said, "It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see." This quote serves as a reminder that how we perceive the actions of others and our own response to them shapes our experiences. Helping those who won't help themselves or those who only criticize your kindness leaves you depleted and disillusioned. Thoreau's words remind us to look beyond appearances and be mindful of the reality beneath them. Helping someone is a noble act, but it is essential to recognize when your kindness is being exploited. As the Stoics teach, give your energy to those who are deserving, who will use it to grow and improve their lives. In doing so, you protect yourself from the emotional toll of being constantly criticized and unappreciated. In conclusion, when your genuine acts of kindness are met with betrayal and harsh criticism, it is a signal that you must reevaluate where you direct your energy. Stoic philosophy urges us to be wise and discerning with our compassion. Give freely, but give wisely. When you choose to help those who truly appreciate it, your kindness will have a far greater impact on the world. Number 5. Manipulators. Epictetus once said, "No one can hurt you unless you allow it to happen." This teaching reminds us of the power of controlling our emotions and how we choose to respond to situations. Manipulators do not ask for help openly or sincerely. Instead, they exploit your emotions, using your compassion and kindness as tools to achieve their own goals. You may have encountered someone who makes you feel responsible for them, convincing you that if you don't help, you are heartless and lacking compassion. Manipulators play with your emotions, keeping you in a state of unease and guilt. But you must remember, not all help is noble. Helping manipulators only makes you lose your freedom and personal value. Marcus Aurelius reminded us of the importance of safeguarding inner peace. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard your thoughts and ensure they remain virtuous and tranquil." Every time you help a manipulator, you're not only harming yourself but also enabling their abuse of others. Your inner peace, the highest goal in Stoic philosophy, becomes compromised. Imagine helping someone repeatedly, yet instead of feeling fulfilled by your actions, you're left feeling anxious, tense, and uncertain about whether they will continue to exploit you. That is the price you pay when helping manipulators. Seneca wrote, "Not everyone who asks for help deserves it." This is a valuable reminder about being selective with whom we offer assistance. Manipulators never truly need your help. They only want to take advantage of you. They do not seek redemption or positive change. They seek to drag you into their negative spiral, to exploit your compassion and vulnerability. Think about the last time you helped someone, only to later realize that they didn't appreciate your support. Worse still, they may have come back to you with even greater demands, showing no signs of improvement or personal growth. They manipulate you not because they need you, but because they want to control you, keeping you within their influence. So this only pulls you deeper into feelings of powerlessness and confusion. Epictetus teaches you alone control your mind. Learn to say no to things that infringe upon your peace. When dealing with a manipulator, the most important thing is to learn how to say no. And do not be afraid to refuse to help them, because this is not a sign of heartlessness, it is a sign of wisdom and self-protection. Each time you aid a manipulator, you are not empowering them to grow or change, but instead reinforcing their ability to manipulate. They will continue to use your empathy against you, twisting your goodwill into a tool for their own benefit. The more you offer, the more they will demand, and soon your emotional reserves will be depleted. The Stoics were clear on this matter. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that the quality of our thoughts and actions is directly linked to the people we surround ourselves with. By constantly allowing manipulators into our lives, we are inviting chaos and disorder into our minds. He says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight is a call to reclaim control over our own peace and inner harmony, instead of allowing it to be dictated by others. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, also warned against enabling harmful behavior. He teaches that when we help those who do not deserve it, we become complicit in their misconduct. Just as a captain cannot guide a ship if the crew refuses to listen, you cannot guide someone towards change if they are unwilling to take responsibility for their actions. When faced with a manipulator, no amount of help will change their ways because they are not seeking genuine support, they are seeking dominance over you. To help a manipulator is like handing over the keys to your own well-being. Each act of assistance strengthens their hold over you, leaving you more entangled in their web of deceit. Instead of using your help as a stepping stone to improvement, they use it as leverage, creating a sense of obligation and guilt in you. Consider the teachings of modern thinkers as well. Psychologists have long noted that manipulators rely on emotional entanglement to get what they want. They prey on those who are kind and compassionate, twisting these virtues into weaknesses. Yet the very act of saying no is not cruelty, it is an assertion of your right to protect your mental and emotional health. Saying no to a manipulator is an act of self-preservation and strength, not selfishness. Reflect on your own experiences. How many times have you felt trapped by someone's demands, only to realize that helping them did nothing to better their situation? Or worse, it made things harder for you. Each time you give in to their manipulation, you are sacrificing a part of your own peace and freedom. And as Epictetus taught, true freedom comes from within, from the ability to control our reactions and maintain our sense of balance in the face of external pressure. Manipulators often disguise their intentions, making it seem as though they are the ones in need of saving. But in reality, they thrive on keeping others tethered to them, using your generosity as a tool for their own gain. The Stoics remind us that helping others should lead to mutual growth, not dependency. If your assistance is fostering a cycle of manipulation, it is not true help, it is enabling. To break free from this, you must adopt the Stoic mindset. As Marcus Aurelius advised, keep your mind focused on virtue and serenity. Help those who genuinely seek improvement and walk away from those who abuse your kindness. Saying no to a manipulator isn't shutting down compassion, it is ensuring that your compassion is used where it can truly make a difference. In the end, helping a manipulator is a betrayal of yourself. By continually offering your hand to someone who only pulls you down, you are not only harming your own sense of peace, but also encouraging their destructive behavior. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us to be mindful, to value our internal peace above all, and to understand that not everyone is deserving of our help. Epictetus said it best: you cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. When it comes to manipulators, your response should be one of strength. Learning to say no and protecting your well-being is not selfish but essential. Number 6. The selfish. Oscar Wilde once said, "A selfish person sees the world as existing solely to serve them, and they will never feel guilty about exploiting others." This is a warning that selfish people not only take advantage of your kindness, but also view it as something they are entitled to, as their right. When you help a selfish person, they will never realize they are exploiting you, and they will never change. Khalil Gibran also reminded us, when you give too much without receiving anything in return, you will become depleted, not only of material things but of spirit. Helping a selfish person is an act of draining your own spirit. They never reflect on your generosity, instead they see it as something they rightfully deserve. When you stop helping, they will easily abandon you without a second thought. Imagine that you have been helping a friend for a long period of time. You've been willing to put aside your own needs to help them through the rest. But when things start to improve for them, they completely ignore you. They feel no gratitude or appreciation, continuing to focus only on their own needs and benefits. In this case, your kindness has been exploited, and that not only hurts you but also weakens the values you have always believed in. A selfish person cares only about their own benefit. They expect others to cater to their needs without giving anything in return. In any relationship, the balance of give and take is essential to maintain harmony and understanding. However, for selfish people, they only care about what they can take and never what they should give. As a result, these relationships become drained, with the giver feeling exhausted and the selfish person never changing. Number 7. The habitual liars. Blindly offering kindness to those who are not truthful not only harms you but also enables bad habits, eroding trust in sincerity and integrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "It is not what others think of you that matters, but what you think of yourself." This teaching reminds us that our self-worth is not determined by the opinions of others, including liars. Do not let their deceitful words shake your confidence or cause you to doubt your own goodness. Epictetus emphasized the importance of inner freedom. No one can harm you unless you allow it. A liar can only affect you if you permit them to. Be wise enough to recognize lies and don't let them hurt you. You have the right to choose not to believe, not to accept, and not to allow yourself to be drawn into the web of deceit. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, advised, "Live with those who make you a better person." A liar, with their deceitful and dishonest nature, cannot offer you positive influence. On the contrary, they can pull you down, causing you to lose faith in people and life. Therefore, be wise in choosing healthy relationships and genuine friends to nurture good values together. Not only Stoic philosophers, but many great writers and thinkers have condemned lying and its harmful effects. Mark Twain once said, "If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything." This quote highlights the exhaustion and trouble that lies bring. Lying not only harms others, but also becomes a burden for the liar themselves. To William Shakespeare also wrote, "The liar's tongue is shorter than his legs," meaning that although lies can be hidden for a while, the truth will eventually come to light. In the end, liars will have to face the consequences of their actions. Number 8. The Arrogant Ego. Epictetus once said, "We learn nothing from those who are full of themselves." Arrogance is the enemy of growth. This wisdom reminds us that people with inflated egos often refuse to accept what they cannot control. They will never admit that they need help or that they have made mistakes. When you try to help them, your efforts are met with an invisible wall of pride and rejection. When you offer assistance to such a person, they don't see it as an opportunity to grow, but rather as an intrusion on their pride. They view your help as unnecessary, a sign of weakness that they refuse to acknowledge. As a result, they not only fail to change, but also make you feel betrayed by the kindness you extended. Seneca once wrote, "The self-satisfied do not need our help, for their pride is the greatest enemy of compassion." Trying to help someone with a large ego is like pouring water into sand. They will never truly accept your assistance. No matter how hard you try, your compassion will only be wasted. Imagine having a friend who constantly flaunts their success and pride. Every time they encounter a problem, you're willing to step in, offering support and helping them find solutions. But instead of gratitude, you're met with coldness and indifference. They refuse to acknowledge that they need help, and even suggest that you're undermining their self-esteem. Oscar Wilde once said, "Arrogance is the last defense of the weak." This serves as a warning that those with oversized egos often use arrogance as a shield to hide their inner weakness. They don't want to admit that they need help because doing so would mean confronting their own mistakes and failures. Writer Khalil Gibran also wrote, "When the ego is too large, the heart is hidden." Imagine that you've spent hours, even weeks, trying to help someone, but they don't acknowledge or care about your efforts. They continue to live in the protective shell of their arrogance, refusing to see the reality or the need for change. At this point, you must learn to walk away not because you lack compassion, but because you understand that no one can change unless they are willing to face the truth about themselves. Helping someone with a large ego is often a fruitless endeavor. They refuse to humble themselves, and in doing so, they close the door to growth and learning. They cannot accept that they are flawed or that they need to change, and this makes it impossible for them to truly benefit from the help you offer. Epictetus reminds us that we should not waste our energy on those who are unwilling to grow. The prideful person does not appreciate your effort because they do not believe they need it. Their ego blinds them to the lessons that could help them grow. It is in these moments that we must step back and protect our own energy. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Instead of trying to convince a prideful person of their need for help, focus on your own growth and actions. Helping others is noble, but not when that help is met with arrogance and rejection. There are others who need your help and will appreciate it, and your energy should be spent on those who are open to growth and change." The truth is, prideful people often live in a fragile world of self-delusion. Their arrogance is not a sign of strength, but of fear of facing their own weaknesses, fear of admitting they need help, and fear of being seen as flawed. When you try to help someone who clings to their ego, they will often lash out or reject your kindness, not because your help is not valuable, but because accepting it would shatter their carefully constructed illusion of superiority. This illusion of superiority is often what prevents them from experiencing true growth. As Oscar Wilde pointed out, arrogance is merely a facade for deeper insecurities. By helping someone with an inflated ego, you are not doing them any favors. In fact, you are allowing them to continue hiding behind their pride, avoiding the necessary self-reflection and change that leads to personal development. Imagine working tirelessly to support someone, offering guidance and advice, only to see them dismiss your efforts as unnecessary. They take your help for granted, never acknowledging the sacrifices you made for their benefit. They continue to believe that they are above needing assistance, even as they falter. This is the painful reality of helping someone who is too prideful to accept that they are not invincible. At some point, you must recognize that not everyone is ready to receive help. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot change others unless they are willing to change themselves. Seneca's words ring true. Arrogance is the enemy of compassion. A person consumed by pride cannot appreciate the kindness you offer because they do not believe they need it. In these moments, you must ask yourself, is my help truly making a difference? Or is it being wasted on someone who refuses to grow? You cannot force someone to change, and you should not sacrifice your own well-being to try. Epictetus reminds us that we are only responsible for our own actions, not the actions of others. If someone is not open to help, it is not your duty to convince them otherwise. Helping someone with a large ego can feel like a betrayal. You give your time, energy, and compassion only to be met with indifference or hostility. But this is not a reflection of your kindness. It is a reflection of their inability to accept that they are not perfect. In the end, we must learn to help those who are ready to receive it and walk away from those who are not. There is wisdom in knowing when to step back. You are not being unkind by refusing to help someone who will not accept it. Rather, you are preserving your energy for those who will benefit from it. Helping a prideful person is not an act of kindness, it is enabling their arrogance. And as long as they remain trapped in their ego, they will never grow.